here we are with Rose. She hasn't ever ridden a unicycle before, have you, Rose?
No.
And I was just explaining to her that your first goal is to ride it around with your weight on the seat, and you don't even have to push your weight back so that the seat is straight up and down yet. You can just let your feet be behind your rear end, and because Rose, move the seat forward and back. See how it can move. She can keep it all the way forward against that stop if she wants to at first. I have to adjust that a little bit, actually. I'm just going to move that seat back a little bit. I'm going to make this longer. That's it. Keep your weight forward. Keep your weight in the seat. That's the first thing that every beginner on a unicycle learns. Weight in seat. Weight in seat. Okay, on this it's weight in seat and steering like a bike. Except the handlebars go side to side more than a bike. But go ahead. Okay, we just moved the handlebars further away from her seat, and she's able to ride it much better now. So she was all cramped up. She couldn't steer well with the handlebars so close to the seat. That was my fault. I didn't set it up right for her. But now, once she... Don't go too fast, honey. You're doing great, but you don't need to race around.
Yeah, there's a hill.
Okay. You're going to start to learn to back pedal to keep yourself from going too fast, now that you can ride and steer so well. Nice. Okay. Nice turn. Beautiful. Alright, so she's still riding with the unicycle up against the limiting stop on the main frame, but that's okay because she's still getting the hang of steering. Nice turn, honey. Okay, next time you start up, you're going to shift your hips back. You're just going to thrust your hips back so that the seat is directly over the wheel. That's it. And your weight is directly over the seat. Yeah. Once you get started, you can start the same way, but then once you're started up, you're going to thrust your hips back and ride the unicycle more normally. And you'll have to straighten your elbows a little bit so that your shoulders are back over your seat.
That's harder.
I know. That's the next step. You're going to learn to keep proper unicycle posture is the next thing you're going to learn. See, with the Unitrainer, you can learn one thing at a time. So far, you've learned weight in seat, and you've learned steering. And when you learn to steer that Unitrainer the way you just did, you also learned how to steer a unicycle. So you've learned two things already, weight in seat and steering. Now you're going to learn nice upright posture with the seat is in a line straight over the wheel and your shoulders are straight over your seat. Nice. Good thrusting. You got your hips back a bit. Nice. Nice. Very good. Oh, you're forward again, so there you go. Okay, well, you're pretty much ready to try to turn even with your unicycle posture. I think you can do it. Nice. Okay, unicycle posture is good. Your hips are back. Shoulders are pretty much over your hips. Very nice.
Well, I did that without thinking about it that time.
All right, that's what we like to hear. You just need a little break. There you go. Nice job. You're really starting to get the hang of steering it. Although turning around is still a bit of a challenge, isn't it? Nice. Went right to the unicycle posture. Oh, I forgot, you don't want me to say nice. So we've loosened up the top joint of the uni. Yep, the handlebar can move up and down just a little bit, just so she gets the feel of it's okay.
Should I try to keep it in the middle?
If you can, yeah. There's not much of a middle because we only loosened it up a teeny bit at first. Usually I would loosen it a little bit more, but if you're nervous, you start out with a small amount, and then you can always loosen it a little bit more in another minute after you do a couple more circuits around the practice area. See if you can move it up and down on purpose while you're riding. And you can get the feel of having that level of flexibility even though you can still steer. Yeah. And just get used to that idea. Okay, it's okay for it to move up and down. I can still steer. That's awesome. I think you could have been fine with it a little bit looser. So let's loosen it up a little bit more. Okay. It's not that much, and it's not going too low, so you can always still rest down on it if you need to.
Now, should I try to keep it in the middle?
Yeah. Try to keep it in the middle once you get started. You can't turn on the alarm until you've loosened both top and bottom joints. But you can feel whether it's in the middle by how it kind of feels like it's floating. Now by loosening the top joint first and having her have the bottom one stiff, now she's learning how to use the trainer. By pushing and pulling on the handlebars, she can continue to use the handlebars to help her balance. And that's the way I want to encourage people to balance using the handlebars.
What does that do again?
Now it can move forward and backwards a little bit before it saves you. Just a little bit. You're fine. You're doing great. And it still can save you from a forwards or backwards fall, just like it always has been. In fact, even when it's adjusted the most I ever recommend, you still have the handlebar there to save you from a forward or backwards fall. It just moves a little bit before it catches you. There you go. Nice startup. Every step takes a little bit, makes it a little bit harder, and that's natural because you're trying to learn something new. Okay, good startup.
Look, I'm doing it.
Yep, and you got it in that floaty position for a second. Nice. Good.
That was the longest I did.
Yep, that was the longest you had it in the floaty position, and you had your unicycle posture. All right, uni posture. Whoops.
I think I see the posture, then the handlebars.
Yes, exactly. It's a good point. When you go to the next more difficult step, you still have to make sure you're doing all the earlier steps, earlier learning first before you take on the new challenge. So weight and seat, unicycle posture, and only then do you even try to get that handlebar into that floating position. That could all happen in a few seconds, or it could take a few wheel revolutions. Take a little bit longer maybe. Yeah. Well, we have to stop in a minute anyway because I'm running out of time. Alright, okay. It's a little harder for you to keep your unicycle posture now because the handlebars are loose. That's normal. All right. That was your best turn with the loose handlebars yet. Try to keep your unicycle posture.
I'm trying.
There you go. Nice. There's your unicycle. Whoop. That's more like a bicycle. Coasting with your feet off.